Chapter 8, Hero. There was much rejoicing in the courtyard. Mrs. Lambchop kissed Stanley and Arthur. Mrs. Weeks kissed Emma, and then everyone else, even Flash Tobin, who had arrived to take pictures. Mr. Lambchop shook hands with Mr. Weeks and Chief Johnson, who announced several times that Stanley was a great hero. Flash Tobin took a group picture of all the Lambchops. "Need one more," he said. "Emma, just you and Stanley. You're a hero, right? Saved your life." "I could have got out by myself," Emma said. "I just didn't know exactly where the door was." But she went to stand by Stanley. "Smile." Flash Tobin took the picture. "Yes, that's good." He gave Stanley a cheerful slap on the back, just as Emma's elbow jabbed hard into Stanley's ribs. "Ow!" yelled Stanley. Emma grinned. "That's for you, Mr. Hero." "Are you crazy?" "What?" Stanley stopped. Everybody was staring at him. He felt peculiar, as if, yes, he was getting round again. "Wow," Emma said. "How did you do that?" "Hooray for you, dear," shouted Mrs. Lambchop. And more cries rose from the others in the courtyard. "Do you see what I see? He's blowing up. Are we crazy or what?" Flash Tobin aimed his camera again. "Hold it, kid." But he was too late. Before him now stood a smiling Stanley Lambchop, shaped like a regular boy. Mr. Lambchop ran to hug him, and everyone else applauded. "Been 30 years with the fire department and never saw anything like that," said Chief Johnson. Wouldn't have missed it." "I'm really glad," Stanley said, "but what made it happen?" "What Dr. Dan said," shouted Arthur. "Remember the whatever. The OBP, the osteal balance point," Mr. Lambchop smiled. "Yes, that slap on the back from Flash Tobin and the poke from Emma, that did it. The board fell from the tilting roof off. A board fell from the tilting roof off the Merker building, landing in a corner of the courtyard. Let's go, folks," Chief Johnson said. "We're not safe here." A moment later, back out in the street, there was more hugging and kissing and saying goodnight. Suddenly, behind them, there was a great creaking and grinding sounds. Turning, they watched what was left of the Merker building come crashing down. Emma spoke first. "Oh, boy," she said softly. "Wow." Mrs. Weeks caught her eye and gave a little nod toward Stanley. Emma looked puzzled. "Huh?" "Oh, yeah." She turned to Stanley. "I guess maybe you saved my life." "Whatever." She kissed his cheek. "Thank you very much, Stanley Lambchop." "It's okay," Stanley said, quite red in the face. "You're welcome." And then everyone went home.